increase the particular speed. It is going to increase the speed of a particular signal or particular network. So they are written the lower compared to the wireless networks, but advanced wireless technologies. Nowadays we are using the advanced wireless technology, that is LTE technology, 4G, long-term evolution, and wireless local area network. These are going to increase the particular speed of a particular network, that is using wireless. The second parameter is the bandwidth. Second parameter is of bandwidth. What is the bandwidth of this wired is high. Bandwidth of the wired is high and the bandwidth is low. But why it is low? Because we are launching the many satellites. It is a limited. We are launching many satellites for a low Earth orbit, medium Earth orbit, and in the space, that is high Earth orbit. So the bandwidth is, this goes on high, that is goes on increasing day by day, how they are going to launching the particular satellites. The spectrum of physical spectrum is going to increase, the frequency is going to increase, particular frequency is allocated to the particular user, that is going to increase. So as the technologies goes on changing, we are moved from wired to the wireless. The cost, the parameter of this cost. The cost of this wireless less because we are using the cables, the fixed cables, the optical cables, coaxial cables are not that much expensive. But the cost of wireless is very high because we are going to provide a service to the millions of trillions of users. So requires a number of routers it is required, number of hubs it is required, number of switching centers it is required, and number of towers is required. So the cost of this wireless network is high, more as compared to the wired network. And installation, it requires more time. Why? Because the person is required, a physical person is required to install. The physical person is required for this also, for wireless also, but at some instant it is required. At the less time it is required. It requires more time because he has to connect a particular signal from one end to the other end. That is for a longer distance communication also, for a shorter distance communication also. For installation, it requires more time. It requires less time for wireless. Mobility. Mobility is nothing but a seamless connectivity. There is no disconnection in the connectivity in the call. There is no disconnectivity to call. That is, mobility is nothing but the whatever the area it is, it has to be covered. That is fixed. Because in wireless it is limited. It is limited. That wired is nothing but what? It is for a shorter distance communication. So seamless connectivity is limited. Why? Because whenever we are moving from one location to other location, if it is wired, your connection will not be connected previously. See, he has written that is limited as it operates in area covered by connected system with the wired network. Okay, you are seeing that telephone, your telephone landline, that has to be fixed at some place, that is to be limited area. It is not limited. Why? Because you are using your mobile phone. You are carrying your mobile phones anywhere, anytime. You can use your mobile phone at anywhere, anytime. You can operate you can use the data, you can use the internet, you can make a call. If you want to see the movie, you can sitting at anywhere, you can see the movies also. That is what? Mobility, that is connection, that is seamless connectivity is very high. That is in wireless. That is not limited, that it operates in the entire wireless network coverage. Transmission medium. The transmission medium is nothing but it is a carrier. It acts like a carrier. The signal can be carried. The signal can be carrying from one place to other place. How it is in wireless wired communication? It requires copper wires. It requires optical fiber cables. It requires Ethernet. It requires Ethernet. Okay. That is what you are using your PC in CAD 1, CAD 2, CAD 3 lab at college. You see the Ethernet, that is a LAN connection is connected from one PC to other PC, other PC to other PC. But one office, that is one main switch is connected at the outside of that lab. That is what? A wired. That is what? A wired. The LAN connectivity from one system to other system, second to third, third to fourth, fourth to fifth. what? Wired. Copper wires we are using. LAN connectivity required, that is wired. You are using your mobile, there is any connection for that? No. So transmission medium is through electromagnetic waves it is happening. Through electromagnetic waves, or for the radio waves, or for the infrared waves. These are the three waves it is to carry the information from one point to the multiple points, that is wireless. The transmission medium for this is electromagnetic waves, radio waves and infrared waves as its carrier. Next parameter for this difference wireless and wired is nothing but network coverage extension. Network coverage extension. In the previous, if you want any extension for a telephone, you require different connection. You require a different connection. You require different hubs, different switches, different stations we required. But in wireless, it is not like this. It has to cover more and more area as compared to the wired. It is the wired is limited for some locations or some boundary, but wireless is not limited, but it is connected from one area to other area. That is, it requires hubs, it requires switches for a network coverage, limit extension. And for wireless, it requires more area is covered by wireless base station. Whatever you are seeing that base station, that is tower. The many number of towers are located in your area. Whenever you are moving in the highways, you are seeing the number of towers. That is, it has to be covered the more area which are connected from each other. That is 1 to 1. That is 7th parameter. Next parameter, which are the applications of this wired and wireless. Applications is nothing but Ethernet. That is, you are using the LAN connection at labs. That is a local area network. And for wireless, we are using Zigbee, we are using Bluetooth, we are using Wi-Fi, we are using hotspot and wide area network. That is GSM you are using, LTE using, that is global system for mobile, long-term evolution. These are some of the applications comes under this wireless. For wired, we are using a LAN connection. There is a physical connection between one end to the other end, that is wired. For application of this wireless is, there is a Zigbee, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, hotspot, GSM, LTE, different generation 1G to 5G. And how the interference, how the signals has to be comes under this, that is channel interference and signal power loss. Interference is less as one wire network is not affect the other. Why? Because there is no connection between one wire to the other wire. If the line is going in one location, other line is going in other location. So there is no connection between the two signals, two wires, two coaxial cables. That is what the interference of the signal will be less. That whatever the signal is carrying, that is through the cables. But in wireless, it is not like that. The information has to be spread in air. So there may be an interference between the two signals if they are using if both the users are using the same frequency band. If both the users are using the same frequency band. So interference is high due to obstacles between the wireless transmitter and receiver. For example, we are using the weather conditions. The weather condition is a little bit bad. We are getting some of the signals, poor signals we are getting. Your call will not be connected. And reflection, refraction, diffraction will be happens. When your signal has to be passed through air, there are number of physical devices will be present in your areas. That is to be number of buildings, number of trees. These are the number of physical devices has to be present. It has to be reflected back to your signal, and it is moving from the corner of that building and reach to the particular tower. These are the examples how the signal has to be reached. That is wireless network. The quality of service, it is better as compared to wireless, but wireless, it is going better and better. That is higher and higher. Why? Because of this advanced technologies. Because of this advanced technologies, the service of the quality of the services goes on increasing. So previously it is poor, that is from 25% to 30%. As the generation goes on changes from 1G, 2G to 3G, 4G and 5G, it becomes 90 to 95% of the wireless service, better quality we are getting. That is, these are the some of the parameters between, these are some of the difference between wired and wireless. That is, parameter is speed of operation, second is system bandwidth, next is cost. You have to write down these parameters and you have to explain. If you know the parameters easily, you can write in wired and wireless also. You know what is the speed of wired, what is the speed of wireless, and what is the bandwidth of wired, what is the bandwidth of wireless, what is the cost of wire, is less or more. You have to write just in one point. Installation, if time is required, less time is required. Mobility, limited, not limited. Transmission medium, it requires some of the cables, it is not required any cables, it requires only waves. Network, it requires some of the switches, hubs, it is not required because it requires only base station to cover more and more regions, more and more areas, more and more populations. And applications you can write, it is requires a LAN connection, it requires some of the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi for wireless. Interference is less, interference is more. Quality of service is better. It is poor previously, but using the advanced technology, it goes on better and better. This is what a difference between wired and wireless communication. This is a first point of your unit number 1. And before starting the second unit, we have to see some of the parameters comes under this mobile communication. Which are the parameters comes under this mobile communication? We already seen in the overview of syllabus, overview of the syllabus. We have to study the base station, we have to study the base transceiver station, that is BTS. The short forms I told you, the base station, that is BS, mobile station, that is MS, base transceiver station, that is BTS, MSC. What is MSC full form? Anyone? MSC?
Mobile switching center.
Okay, good. The MSC full form is mobile switching center. And what is the forward channel? What is the reverse channel? These are comes under MCQ. What is full duplex? You have already studied full duplex, half duplex. What is a pager? What is a roamer? What is a roaming? What is a subscriber? You are the subscriber. All the parameters you have to study before going for the next topic. Okay. What is base station? Base station is nothing but you are seeing number of towers. What is it going? The base station is a fixed location. It is located at the fixed location. Keep in mind. Base station, it is not variable. It is not movable. You can't move that base station. Then you can't move that tower from one location to other location. Once the location has been finalized, once the location has been fixed, it is not a movable. So it is that base station is called as a fixed station. That is a fixed station. It is not movable. But before they are going to install, they are going to implement any base station, they are going to finalize. We have to implement, you have to install this base station at the center or at the edge of the particular area. That is to be decided before implementing that base station, because if you are going to implement that base station, previously they are going to implement that base station at the center because the population is less. Nowadays the population is goes on increasing, so they are using base station is that to be implemented at the edge, that is of the corner of the particular area, because you are using the directional antenna, highly directional antenna. The gain will be high, the bandwidth will be high. So it is to cover all over the area, where how many the populations is located, how many peoples are located, that has to be covered at the edge of the particular area. So it is a fixed location in a mobile radio system. This fixed location has to be located at the center or at the edge of the particular area, that is called as base station, that is in bracket, that is short form, that is BS. If you want, you can write base station is a fixed station which is located at the edge or at the center of the particular region or area, that is base station. After this base station, we require control channel. Why this required control channel? You have to control almost all the calls. You have to control all the calls which is coming from the different users, multiple users. Many number of users are going to call at any time. That has to be controlled. That has to allocate a particular channel to that user. That has to be done in this control channel. The control channel function is to control all the calls, that is can be done by the call request, who requests the service, call initialization. Initialization is nothing but to connect a call from the other end of the user, that is called initialization, and all the controlling functions till the end of the call. There should not be any disconnectivity in between, that taken care by the control channel. The radio channel used for the transmission of call setup, call request, call initialization for the controlling purpose. Next is your forward channel. Forward channel, this comes under your MCQ. The forward channel is, it is from base station to mobile. Remember this. The forward channel is from base station to mobile. The most of them have confused forward channel and reverse channel. Forward channel and reverse channel. In forward channel is from base station to the mobile station. Base station to the mobile station, from your tower to your mobile station, that is forward. And reverse channel is, that is reverse, from mobile station to base station. That is forward channel is, it is a radio channel used for the transmission of information. From base station to the mobile. That is called forward channel. Reverse channel is nothing but a radio channel used for the transmission of information from mobile station to base station. Reverse. Radio channel used for the transmission of information from mobile station to base station. Next, full duplex. Full duplex, that is nothing but your telephone, that is used for both multiple communication, that is allows simultaneous communication. You have to talk also, you can receive that person voice also. That is, it is allows a simultaneous two-way communication for the transmission. The technique used in frequency division duplexing, that is FDD. And some of the times you are using time division duplexing. It is using for simultaneous communication. You are using your mobile phone, you can hear the other side of the end of the user voice and you can talk also. But it not happens in your hub duplex. It is one-way communication. For example, you have seen many times a traffic police is having his mobile, that is walkie-talkie. He is having his mobile. Someone is talking from other side, the other end. Just he is listening. Just if you want to make reply to that person, just you have to press one button. He has to press one button, then he can reply. Otherwise, just he has to listen. That is walkie-talkie, which is present at traffic police most of the times. It is one-way communication. That is, if you want to make a two-way, just he has to put that one button and then he can reply. That is half duplex. The next parameter is handoff. We have seen, I have already explained you this handoff. What is handoff? The process of transferring a mobile station from one channel or the base station to the another. What it means handoff? Whenever you are moving from one location to other location, you are changing the number of mobile stations, a number of base stations. You are changing the many number of base stations. Instead of base station also, you are handovering the number of channels. Once the base station has been crossed, another channel has to be assigned, or that channel has to be connected to the other base station. That is one channel from one base station to other base station. That is called handoff. Next, mobile station, that is your mobile. What is the function of your mobile? The function of your mobile, you can do anything in this. Okay. Mobile station you are using, you have to make a call or to receive a call. That function has to be done in mobile station. Next, mobile switching center, MSC. MSC, that is mobile switching center. This is the main heart of this particular network. The heart of a particular system or the network architecture is MSC. What is the function of MSC? The function of MSC is to check all the information, all the person information or the user information or the subscriber information, where is located, where is moving from one location to other location, what is the code of his SIM card, he is authenticated or not, he is in white list, blacklist or gray list. All this information has to be checked before making a call. That has to be done in mobile switching center. Next, page. Page or a pager, both are same. Pager, actually, that is pager is nothing but what? A brief message that which is broadcast over the entire service area. For this pager, for example, you are watching a news. You are watching a news. Side by news, you are getting some of the information. You started watching that news reporter, and you are writing beside of that. That is what pager. A brief message has to be broadcast. A brief message has to be broadcast over a entire service area. That is what? A pager. Reverse channel. What is the function of reverse channel? It has to be transmit the information from mobile station to base station. Remember this, all these parameters. I will ask you the question the once it is going to start. Okay. Once it will start, I will ask you the question physically. You will get a call from your CC that the nearby areas or those who are located in Pandharpur, they have to attend their classes from Monday. Okay. So once you start attending the classes from Monday, I will start asking you the question, that is pager. All the parameters or what I have covered previously. Reverse channel is radio channel used for the transmission of information from mobile to the base station, that is reverse channel. What is roamer? Roaming is nothing but what? You purchased your SIM card. You purchased your SIM card in Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, you are roaming in Maharashtra, you are not getting any. You are roaming in Maharashtra, you are not getting any roaming charges. Okay. Once you move from Maharashtra to Karnataka state, your roaming charges will be increases. That is what a roamer. If a person is located at his particular area, there is no any roaming. If he cross a particular boundary, of that particular state, then and then only that person is in roaming. You will get at the right side of your mobile, you will get R, capital R. Once you cross your boundary, you came to know that you will get one message also. Welcome to the Karnataka state for better service. That message you will get because you are in other state as a roamer. That message has to become some roaming. Okay. These are the parameters of mobile communication. You have to remember this. Just write. In short, you have to write. One is base station. Second one is control channel. Third is forward channel. And fourth is reverse channel. Fifth is full duplex. Sixth is half duplex. Next is handoff. Next is mobile station. Next is mobile switching center, that is MSC. Next is pager, and last one is roamer. You have to remember this. What are the some of the parameters comes under this parameters of mobile communication. Okay, this is the second point of this unit. cellular engineering fundamentals. The second point of unit number 1 is cellular engineering fundamentals. Before going for this cellular engineering fundamentals, I will ask you the question. I have already told you what is the meaning of cell. What is the meaning of cell? Anyone remember? What is a cell? What is a cell? You people have already studied this subject in your diploma also. Okay, I will tell you first. Afterwards, you can tell in tomorrow's lecture. A cellular concept or a cell is nothing but what? A large geographical area. A large geographical area is divided into a smaller cells. A large geographical area is divided into a smaller cells, that is called as a cell. That is called as a cell. Who has introduced this cellular concept? Anyone?
Bell Laboratories.
Okay. A Bell Laboratories has introduced this cellular concept to overcome the problems of a particular user so that he can get a better service in his located area. A large geographical area is divided into a smaller cell, that is called as a cell. Means what? One cell is divided into a smaller cell. And that smaller cell is again divided into a again smaller cell. That is what? A cellular concept. So that a particular area has to cover a more and more subscriber who is coming in and who is going out from the particular cell. Why this is using cellular concept? To increase the efficiency, to give a better quality of service with a spectrum, frequency spectrum, and this cellular concept has to be introduced. Why? Because a larger, higher power transmitters has to be converted into the lower power transmitters. A larger power transmitter has to be converted to the lower, many number of lower power transmitter at a particular cell. Because each cell is having its own base station. If there are three cells, that is A1, B1 and C1. A1, B1 and C1. A1 is having its own base station, B1 is having its own base station, and C1 is also having its own base station. So for that, they are increasing the number of cells, they are increasing the number of base stations. So if they are increasing the number of base stations, they are going to provide more and more services to the more and more subscriber, more and more users, so that they are using a cellular concept. And where they are going to use that particular base station, at the center or at the edge of the particular area. That is what called cellular concept. For higher capacity with limited spectrum, it is replaces a high power transmitter with several lower power transmitters. It has written it is going to replace a many number of higher power transmitter with the many number of lower power transmitter. Each base station is allocated a portion of total channels. Okay, this is what, if one cell is there, the base station is also located at its own cell. The number of channels allocated at base stations are different. For A1, the number of channels allocated at the base station of B1 is different. The number of channels allocated at the C1 is different. So how many channels we are getting? If A1 is having 6 channels, B1 is having 7 channels, and C1 is having 8 channels. So total we are getting 20 to 21 channels. So the channel number is increases, frequency band is also increases, so bandwidth is also increases. So if a cell 1 is not getting a channel, he can borrow that particular channel from the other cell also. So they are using cellular concept. If all the channels are located in cell A1, but the A1 user has to want to make a call if the cell is not available at that particular A1 cell. But in B1, total 7 channels are there. 6 channels are allocated. 1 channel is remaining. That channel he can use from the A1 cell. That channel he can use from the A1 cell. Once the process has been over, once the call has been over, that channel has to be returned back to that particular cell. That channel has to be returned back to that particular cell. So this concept has to be allocated for this cellular concept, so that more and more users, more and more subscribers can be get the better quality of service. All the available channels are allocated to a small number of neighboring base stations. I have told you. Intervals between neighboring base stations is minimized by allocating different channels. So this is whatever the channels is going to allocate it for A1, the different channels can be allocated for B1, and different channels can be allocated for C1. Similarly for D1, similarly for E1. How the number of cells, how the number of base stations are goes on increases, different channels has to be allocated for different cells. So definition is what? Cellular concept have a technique of subdividing the single higher power transmitter by several lower power transmitter to support many users in the backbone. That is what cellular concept is, to convert a many higher power transmitter to the lower power transmitter. Why are you using this cellular concept? It is going to this cellular concept is going to support mainly 4 parameters for increasing the capacity of a system, and second is to increase the quality of service, and third was to increase the spectrum efficiency, and fourth is to increase the power management. These are the 4 parameters is going to support a particular cellular system. One is to increase system capacity, one is to increase quality of service, and to increase the spectral efficiency, and last to increase power management. Why they are going to consider this hexagonal cell? This is the word is decided, word is finalized that hexagonal is better to cover a more and more area. Why? Because we'll see next. Next point, in a cellular system, total area is divided into a limited number of smaller cells, that is called as cell. I already explained you. And one more definition is what? A large geographical area is divided into a smaller cell or a smaller area, that is called as cell. Each cell having its own base station, and this own base station having its own channels. Each cell is having its own base station, and that base station is having its own channels. Frequency of one cell is different from the frequency of neighboring cell. Frequency of cell A1 is different for frequency of cell B1. The frequency of cell B1 is different from frequency of cell C1. Okay, that is what the frequency will be difference. The total available frequency resources are divided into 7 parts. Each part consists of a number of radio channels. We are using A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These are 7 parts we are using. That is called as a cluster. A group of cells having a non-overlapping frequency. What is meant by cluster? A group of cells having a non-overlapping frequency, that is called as cluster. Cluster is nothing but a group of cells A1, B1, C1. This is one cell. Okay. A2, B2, C2. This is second cell. A3, B3, C3. This is third cell. Getting the point? What is a cluster? A group of cells having a non-overlapping frequency, that is called as cluster. CLUSTER. A1, B1, C1, that is one cell. A2, B2, C2, second cell. A3, B3, C3, that is third cell. That is total 3 clusters. Okay, group of cells are 1, 2, and 3. A group of cells having a non-overlapping frequency, that is called as an cluster. What are the advantages of cellular concept? We already seen that is what is going to support for that. That is the advantages. Higher capacity. With the higher capacity, higher number of users we can serve. Less transmission power is needed if you are using the more and more many number of towers. More and if you are using more and more many number of towers, we require a less power. Base station deals with interference transmission area. Okay, that is a function of that base station also. It has to take care of the interference between the two signals from where it is transmitting the particular signal. What are the problems we came across? Fixed network needed for a base station. Okay, it is not whatever the base station is there, that is fixed. It is not movable. Handover, changing from one cell to other cell, but maybe for not getting your not more problems you are facing in this handover function. MSC is taking care of for this handover and handoff function that your call will not be connected in between. That is to be taken care, but not that much of problem. But due to some bad weather conditions, your call may disconnected. There are two types of interference we are facing in this. One is co-channel interference and adjacent channel interference. And the issues is cell sizing. The size of cell is goes on decreases. We are going to increase the more and more subscriber services. Next is frequency reuse planning. You have to use this frequency reuse planning. And last is channel allocation to the particular cell, a particular base station and particular user. Okay, this is a basic concept of cellular concept, and still it is there. The explanation is there for a cellular concept. We'll see in the tomorrow's lecture. We'll stop today and start with the next lecture, tomorrow's lecture. Your attendance. Those who are given your attendance, they can leave.